Okay, and this is for Darius Bumblauskas, 1702. Can you comment on SpaceX IPO into long-term ETF portfolio holders? Isn't it an exit liquidity for early investors? Well, first of all, yes, it is. And what he means by early exit liquidity, that gives those early investors an opportunity to cash out when the IPO, initial public offering, is posted. But it's also a really good example of what happens toward the end of a system's life cycle. Because look at the size of not just SpaceX, but that's getting a lot of play, all of these big mega IPOs. Back in the 30s, we didn't even have the word for billions. And now SpaceX at $80 billion issuance. So yes, it is absolutely a way to exit for the liquidity, and it's also a mechanism for risk transfer. That doesn't mean that I'm saying that SpaceX is going away, but it really is pulling fiat money wealth from all other sectors at this moment. The long-term effect, right? 10 trillion times zero is zero. This is a currency life cycle issue, and we are at the end of the dollar and all fiat monies, this iteration of it. We're at the end of that right now. So it's more important to hold your purchasing power intact. That'll present opportunities that are far, far bigger than SpaceX or anything else. This is a very interesting question, and there are a number of ways that you can answer that. So I'm just going to read the question, and then I'll give you all my answers. At the funny guy. So if you had real gold back in the 20s, you more than doubled your money. I think what he's referring to is how it was a 20th of an ounce of gold that backed $1. And then when they installed the Federal Reserve, they were now allowed from that same 20th of an ounce to print $2.40. So, yep, you doubled your paper money, but your purchasing power declined by 52%. And so what I would say to you is, here is my $10 trillion Zimbabwe note. You know what I can buy with it? Nothing. That was the plan then. Going into the future, you're going to have even fewer options. But yeah, you doubled the cash you had in your wallet, but you bought more than 50 or less than 52% of what you could buy before. Not a good deal for the public. Great deal for the corporations. This is from TikTok, and it's Michael Crawford 811. The question is, what do you think digital money is all about? Well, I think that digital money is all about giving those that are in power and in control even more. That and the fact that the cheaper and easier it is to create money, fiat money anyway, the more of it that will be created and the less value that it has. And digital money is actually cheaper and easier to create than paper money. Just like paper money was easier and cheaper to create than sound money. We need to get sound money back because you trade it for your labor. What's your labor worth to you? So this is at Sean Reeswe. For somebody with less than $100,000 to invest, how would you recommend we enter the market? I'm looking to study some traders and copy their strategy rather than investing myself and losing money emotionally. What's your take on this approach? Foolish. I'm sorry. I don't want to insult you. And the reason why it's foolish is because you are the one that will have your best interest most in mind. So what I strongly urge you to do is to call us. Establish your goals. Lay out your strategy. The ultimate choice is yours, but education is key. Anybody can make money when the markets are rigged in their favor. And they are, because they need to keep you engaged in it so they can transfer your wealth their way, and you don't realize that that's what's happening. You need to listen and talk to people that actually know what they're doing. It's easy to trade, right? In and out. I show you technicals all the time. All you really have to do is shorten them up if you want to be a short-term trader. But that is a long-term lose, because it doesn't matter how many dollars you have. It matters what you can convert them into. I've studied currency life cycles since 1987. This time is no different. You really want to make wealth, you want to grow wealth and be in a position where you are independent and self-sufficient? Yeah, put in a foundation of sound money. And then you put it away and you don't worry about it again until there's the next thing to do. We have a strategy, short, intermediate, and long term. But it all begins with your goals. And you are the one that's most impacted by the end results. This is not the time to be greedy or aggressive. This is a time to be conservative and build that foundation with community and sound money. And then, if you have a foundation of sound money and you make a mistake somewhere else, it doesn't matter because you're properly diversified.